Are you ready?
Yeah.
Thank you, Christian. I really appreciate the energy and the enthusiasm.
5 weirdest home additions that add value in 2024.
Woo! We're just gonna start without you. I know. It is fine. It is fine, Stu. Ooh. Did you find it? Did you find it? How about now?
No, I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Liv's emails get buried for you. I'm pretty confident. What's up, guys? It's Mike Frank with Christian Olson here, two Baltimorons, coming to talk to you today a little bit about 5 weird home additions or improvements that are certainly there to add value.
Do you truly think they're here to add value?
I 100% that these things add value.
I'm calling cap as
We're going to hop into it, but I want to watch this video real quick because I'm super curious. Whoop.
Who is this guy?
Okay, calm down.
3 things that are making your house look cheap as fuck on a luxury interior design.
Oh my God.
The amount of time I see these common mistakes in my client's home is insane. Here is what to avoid in order to not make your house look like a piece of shit. The first mistake to avoid is gray wood floors. Builders put this in every single home that they make. It looks super basic. It sucks the life out of any space that you have and immediately devalues your space. 9 out of 10 times we end up ripping it up, so just avoid it from the beginning. The next thing to avoid is furniture sets. There's no reason in 2023 why your nightstands, dresser, bed, every single piece in your room matches. It just makes the room feel like you went to one store and bought everything. It doesn't feel collected. It doesn't feel designer. It doesn't feel high-end. So avoid furniture sets at all costs.
It's not nice, Christian.
I would say just choose one piece from the collection and stick with that.
Maybe 2.
Let me tell you a secret. That mass-produced artwork that's sitting at HomeGoods is not going to make your space look like a designer did it. For the same price, you can easily find some really unique pieces from a local artist or Etsy, or even make something yourself.
For a great price. Have you ever bought local art?
For your money when you have a cool original piece that somebody else has in their house.
It's rough.
All right, I don't like this video.
Helps you
I love this dude.
I apologize to this
when
person,
designing your own
but
house.
that's my honest opinion. I do not like it.
I love this dude.
No.
I want to meet him. He's from New York, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just don't like the approach to telling people what to put in their home, and then
He's not telling you what to put in your home. He's saying these things are devaluing the home. And quite frankly, I've got to agree with him.
Wait. I think that's incredibly misleading.
Why?
Brand new gray floors are not devaluing your house.
Okay, contrary consideration. Brand new gray floors are not improving the house or making it more desirable for other people.
Depending on what it was before. If it's brand new, it's not some old piece of shit.
I agree. However, I always think this way. If you're going to spend the money on it, right, you might as well make it attractive. I used to get into an argument with my mom. She was renovating her kitchen, and she goes, I want white cabinets. And I go, Mom, no one likes white cabinets. She goes, I want white cabinets. If I'm going to renovate the kitchen and I'm going to live here for 5 more years, I at least want to love it. And then what happens over the next 5 years? White cabinets become like the most popular thing on the face of the planet. And she just got lucky. But she made the point that she wanted what she wanted. I think if you're renovating for the market, you have to be recognizing that, hey, buyers in today's market would prefer X versus Y. That's all.
But do we really have a true understanding of what people in the market want as terms of color of floor? Because if that's the case, nobody would be using gray floor, or to the degree that it is being used.
Okay, I also think that a lot of builders have bad taste, just in general. And so I think when it comes to additions that add value, we're not even talking about things that are truly improving the value of the home. Let's say your house is worth $450 or $700, or in this guy's case, $23 million, right? Like whatever your house is worth, we're not talking about making it worth X dollar value more. We're not saying, oh, if you have a $450,000 house or a $220,000 house and you renovate the floors, you pay $12,000 for those gray hardwoods or laminate or whatever the product is that you put down. Your house is not worth 12 grand more. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is if you're going to improve the house, you might as well improve it in a way that more buyers are going to be attracted to it. Do you like gray floors?
Not really.
Right. That's the point. That's the point. It's challenging because
it's not devaluing it at all. Because if it was a piece of shit home and then you put these in, what bright buyer is going to walk into gray floors and be like, nope, tear it up right now. Tear it up. Tear it up.
That's what I was just about to say. Okay. It's not devaluing it because at the price point at which we work most commonly, those buyers don't have that capacity.
But I just don't think like anybody who has like a reasonable mind.
Well, but think about it this way, right? This is equivalent to the seller that says, hey, I don't want to replace the carpet. I'm going to give the buyer a carpet allowance, right? And we always say to the sellers, please replace the carpet, because these buyers that are coming through to tour your home most commonly fail to see the creative side where they could create what they want. And whether you pay for it now or you pay for it later as a credit, you're going to exclude a number of buyers who won't be able to see the value of the credit that you're offering.
Let's jump ship to another
Jumping ship.
argument.
Oh my goodness.
This guy, the furniture thing. Who gives a rat's ass? Who cares?
For those of you that are paying attention,
who cares? You have a fucking furniture set, whether it's bedroom, living room.
I have the best example.
You're living in the house. That's the furniture you decide.
I have the best example.
Ugly and like atrocious. It doesn't even make sense. Like, I feel like it's an invalid argument.
Okay, I have a good example. So if you walk up to a front door here in Maryland, this is a very common thing that happens to me. I walk up to the front door, I kick open the screen door or whatever secondary source. Maybe it's a fence gate or otherwise, source. Right? Like whatever, security feature that they have. And I kick it open and the screen door just flies open because the little pneumatic piece is broken.
Okay.
Right? Invariably, there's a drippy faucet. Invariably, there's a room that's partially painted that was never finished.
I'm just waiting for this to get to the furniture set.
It's the person that fails to see the value of a more boutique set of furniture or a more unique value. They also just fail to see the value in other things. It's like one goes hand in hand with the other.
But this person has a furniture set. I don't understand how your example relates to somebody have a furniture set and it devaluing the property.
So perhaps you have a buyer that walks into Value City, Our House, whatever their preferred furniture store is, and they go, that one, right? And they just... Are they taking time to, clean the bathroom, clean the grout, replace the shower curtain, or, upgrade the rods and poles? Like, are they doing the other things in the property? Are they just going
for the sake
that
of
one
this
and walking
video?
out?
I feel like they're not.
I agree with what you're saying.
Conversation.
I agree with what you're saying.
There's no correlation between.
For the sake of the video, fine. I'll give it to you. One win for Christian.
But then even like you go to a seller's house and you're telling me there's a direct correlation between bed sets and if they have a shower curtain or other things about their property, because someone who buys a bed set or a living room set could or could not take care of their home in a good or bad way.
Could or could not, I agree. But someone that is well detailed and meticulous in their bedroom set and the furniture that they've chosen.
What if it's an $8,000 bedroom set?
If it's not about cost.
I don't know. It kind of seems like it is.
Kind of seems like it is. All right. So also we featured on our website at Frank Oliver Co. under additional resources in the blog. You can feature 5 weird home additions that add value in 2024.
I don't think they add value.
But here's the thing. It's the same argument.
I'm not a believer.
It's the same argument. So like one of them, for example, is the pet conveniences. You don't think the pet conveniences add value?
No. The only one adds value or is like considered by buyers is a fence.
That's a pet convenience.
Oh, that's the only one. You think the little fucking cat door that's at the bottom of someone's door that looks very, very small?
The one that has the little kitty cat ears in it?
You think you think buyers are walking through? It's like, I needed that.
If they're cat people, they are.
Yeah, but that's not a selling point, right? Like you can't pigeonhole your way into just one small crowd when you're selling a house. So that type of detail is insignificant when I'm talking with any seller or buyer.
Again, what I think is the seller that installs the pet shower, like the doggy shower in the mudroom, is the same person that has improved their primary bathroom. It's the same person that put in,
Who have you met that has a dog shower?
I've seen a couple of them. Not many, but I've seen a couple.
I feel like we're dreaming today, damn.
Bro, I wish. Honestly, it's a convenience that's unnecessary.
I think it's
but
okay, let's go to another one.
I think that people that do all of these things, elevator, outdoor movie theater,
who the fuck has an outdoor movie theater?
People that care about their outdoor space.
I think outdoor movie theater is, again, very misleading.
What do you mean?
I think it should be like a back patio or your back porch, your landscaping, right? Like you have nice concrete, rocks, tables, places to entertain, a fire pit.
We're gonna Google
and
this.
kind of like the thing that you have at your house,
Outdoor
the stringer lights. Maybe people have posts
I don't
around.
live there anymore, in case you're wondering.
They're not there.
Not in my new house.
No, your old house.
Outdoor movie theater at home. We're Googling it. We're oogly Googling it. So I agree. This doesn't add value.
And people can't see the screen, but these people have like fucking futons that they're sitting on in their backyard.
Yeah, they're like inflatables or whatever.
Yeah.
But like this, this adds value. A little trellis with a built-in movie screen.
Yeah, but like where?
But that's what I'm saying. It's not the movie screen that adds the value. It's the rest of it. It's not the fact that they have the movie screen. It's the fact that all the rest of the things that come along with installing a movie screen. So a good example, our admin, John, who never wants to talk on the podcast, but shout out to John.
Sometimes you might hear him in the background.
We're little love for John right there, right? His cousins, Chris and Sheena, have built out like a little outdoor movie space. And it's not a theater, but they have just a simple like stretchy screen that they've attached to the siding of their house. They have like custom grommets and whatever so that they can stretch it out. And then they have the perfect projector and everything. But they didn't stop there. They built in custom sound and audio. They built in all these other pieces of the puzzle, like an outdoor cooler or maybe other amenities that might make it easier to enjoy that outdoor space. It's not the movie theater that matters. It's the outdoor space in general.
But I also find that...
Look at that one.
Yeah, it's cool. Like that adds value, but also I don't think it adds dollar for dollar value. I also don't think that your personalized touches on your home are going to yield the most return on investment.
Well, I agree, especially when you do the things like where the guys go out and they get the Budweiser cooler and then it's like a built-in Budweiser cooler. Well, what if you're talking to like, you know, a family that A, doesn't drink, or B, a family that is, you know, preferably kind of into person. Wine or Bud Light, even better, right? Like, oh yeah, this is great, but I'd have to wrap that in Bud Light.
Yeah.
Right? That's my best, Budweiser impression. But I do agree with you. You have to be cautious. I recently showed a house to shout out to our buyers who just settled and moved in, Chuck and Michelle. We looked at a property in Ellicott City, and it was really interesting home. It kind of had like a 70s vibe, but it was also a little bit more of a rancher style home. So it didn't have some of the architectural features that you would expect. But one of the features that it did have was it had a full outdoor trellis, bar, everything, to the point that they had like a fridge full of sodas and they said, take one. So I did, right? Of course I did. But they had an outdoor grill. They had an outdoor kitchen. They had a sink. They had an outdoor shower. I went, what's the point of an outdoor shower? There's no pool. Right? Like it was a little interesting, but that was a hyper unique thing that as we toured that home, there was positives that they have all this outdoor space, but then there was negatives. But also from
a seller's point of view, the outdoor shower, all these things might not add dollar for dollar. So you have to really balance on like what it's going to provide you for your living situation, what you enjoy in life. And then also, hey, if I don't have a dollar for dollar return when I go to the market, like I'm okay with that.
Well,
but if you get to spend 10 years out on your back patio and there's a movie screen and a little fire pit, like that might be worth it to you at the end of the day. It doesn't have to be a monetary return as long as you get to enjoy it. But if you're trying to just improve your home to sell it and, you know, get the highest return on investment, I'd rather you put it into bathrooms, kitchens.
Well, and something that I said earlier today on our Facebook Live post was, hey, it's not so much about adding these outdoor features, but perhaps spending a little bit less, dialing the tone back a little bit in the kitchen or dialing the tone back a little bit in the bathroom that would be able to afford this extra space, this extra amenity, that pet feature or that outdoor feature or otherwise. It might be the difference maker. So instead of spending, let's just say a good safe round number is 10% on a kitchen, right? So if you have a $400,000 house, $40,000 kitchen, can it be 30? Yes. Can it be 50? Of course. Can it be 100? Sure, right? But our safe number is 10% of the kitchen, 10% of the house. So $400,000 house, $45,000 kitchen. What if we dialed it back? Instead of buying the $7,000 appliance package, we only bought the $4,000 appliance package. Instead of buying the, boutique G-type granite. We bought the D-type granite. We saved another $2,000. We were able to save a little bit of money and then align that, let's just say, let's just say $14,000 that we've saved by not going boutique and luxury and overboard to an additional space. I think that's where we're getting the greatest return. Yeah. It's not specifically installing it versus not installing it, but it might be choosing to pull back the reins a little bit where we can be smart about our investment. And that personally is the biggest thing that I do as a listing agent. When I'm talking with my sellers, like Angela, for example, what are you going to do, Angela? How did you coach her through that?
I don't know. Just there was quite a bit of work that we needed to do. And basically we wanted to appeal to the masses.
Okay.
Like, as many buyers out there, and so we went with more of like neutral tones for paint, for flooring, and that's really like the only like cosmetic stuff we did. Obviously, we're like touching up some other areas. We redid the laundry room a little bit, but we didn't want to, like ball out, right? Like I told her, I'm like, we're not presenting a new construction home to somebody. Right. We're bringing it up to what the market is reflecting. So we replaced a lot of the carpet. She's having her other upstairs carpet deep clean because it's still in pretty good condition. It looks nice. We painted most of the house all a new neutral color rather than the color that she had, which was a beautiful color. It was like this sage green.
But she also had like different colors in different rooms and stuff.
Yeah, right. And so like her kitchen was a sage green, which worked very, very well. But in terms of getting the house on the market, like could that be polarizing to some people? Or like it really kept the living space, a kitchen, I should say, a little bit darker than what we would want.
You want it to be bright and airy.
Right. And so like I approached her with some of these changes. She had some things already in her mind because she was thinking about selling for so long. So we were kind of in agreeance, I guess. I don't even know if that's a real word.
Agreeance is a word, but agreement might have been a better word. But all the same.
An agreement.
An agreement.
With like we were in agreement with most of the work she needed to get done. And then I threw in some other things there, like kind of like power washing the back patio because there's a lot of moss.
That's what I was going to say. Instead of spending all this money, like we're not trying to reinvent it and bring a brand new.
Just present your house the best way that you can.
But that's where we can invoke some of these other features, whether it's, plants in the garden or whether it's,
Yeah, she laid down new mulch too.
Exactly. And I think that's where people miss. Like this whole blog, it's really kind of interesting to read.
I guess it makes sense because it's 5 weirdest.
Yeah.
Like the 5 weirdest. So this isn't like your typical.
Yeah, it's not like 5 home improvements that you could do that have an ROI.
Right. But I also feel like I don't want people to get in over themselves or like fall in love with this idea of having this giant outdoor movie theater and expecting the highest return on investment because I don't know. Depending on how the clip comes out. I mean, fake news might say, put that movie theater back there. You'll be a millionaire.
Well, but then there are people that just take it for verbatim as like gospel, right?
Well, that's what
and
I'm
if
saying.
you have a really beautiful yard, we have a client right now that has a really beautiful yard. It's actually freaking humongous. It's really deep and it's a good width, but way back in the back, he's like, you know what I want to put back there? I want to put a koi pond. And I go, why? Like, for what reason?
Yeah.
And it's not about ROI and it's not about anything, but it's about like enjoying the yard. Otherwise, it's just a giant grass
living space.
scape. Like, they don't have kids or whatever. So he wants to utilize it in the way that's going to benefit him.
Now, do you think the people that you bought your brand new home from, which is absolutely beautiful, that koi pond added value to the property?
No.
Boom. My point. Mic drop.
Okay, counter argument. If they had a fence, would it have added value to the property?
I don't think it would have made a big impact on that particular home.
Well, and it definitely wouldn't have made an impact for me.
Especially with the community. I don't think like that community, there's not many people that have fences, so it just look weird. And then for that caliber of a house.
But I think that's where we're talking here. Is like, does a koi pond add value? Maybe. And it's really freaking cool and it makes me excited and it's something that I've wanted ever since I was a kid. You know what I mean? So like, did it matter? Did I buy the house because of the koi pond? No. Maybe.
If there was not a koi pond, would you install one?
My wife is probably listening to this right now like, oh my God, we bought this house for a koi pond, right? Would we? Yeah, probably. In this particular case, because we knew everything that we wanted.
I also think this is more like a forever home too, so it's a little bit more.
And to that point, right? Like if it had a pool, would it have added value or detracted value? I don't think so. And appraisal values will show you that a pool doesn't add value or detract value, but a well-maintained pool will. And that's where we're getting at here. We're not saying that a pool will or won't add value. We're not saying that an elevator will or will not add value. What I'm saying is an elevator will generate a community experience where buyers will say, wow, this is a home that I can stay in long term. But if it doesn't have,
you can be there with your wheelchair.
But if it doesn't have the primary bathroom that they like, or if it doesn't have the kitchen that they want, or if it doesn't have the movie theater space in the basement or the outside or the other thing, it's not this is going to add value. It's that this will be able to speak to a higher caliber, more of the buyers that we like.
There was a house that I went into probably 2 years ago in was it Fells Point? Maybe no. Sorry, Fed Hill, or maybe it was considered Otterbein. Mm-hmm. And it was a pretty old home. It had a fucking elevator in it, and I'm thinking it was like one of those tube ones.
I know the house. I knew as soon as you said it.
Was it
like
our listing?
No. But I remember it was like a rocket
though.
tube. I think it was Lena's. To be honest with you,
someone in our old office. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I did an open house there, and I'm like, I mean, I played around with it. It's kind of cool. It wasn't the biggest elevator. You could probably fit 3 people in there.
None of them are very big.
You couldn't put a wheelchair in there, so you can live there forever.
The other thing is, like, the person that I know that has an elevator, when you go into the house, it's 5 stories tall, right? Like main level, second level, third level, fourth level, rooftop deck,
I've never
right?
been
like
to anything like that in my life.
It's insane, okay? But when you think about it, you're like, oh my God, there's so many stairs. Oh. And they're like, oh, well, we have an elevator. Would you like me to call it? Why, yes, I would.
Thinking of that house in Fed or Otterbein, mm-hmm. I don't think that did anything for the home.
No, it doesn't.
The people that are buying that house are people that are gonna use the damn stairs. I'd rather have a fire pole than that elevator, just for fun.
All right. New Instagram poll. Which would you rather, right? I also think for what it's worth.
But I feel like for that, there's probably a direct correlation to age and...
For what it's worth, I think that the space the fire pole would take up would be the space that the elevator would go in. So it would be like a double whammy, right? Like you'd speak to both sides of the coin.
Yeah,
because if you get too old... Well, right, but if you get too old, then you...
Just fall.
Oh, my God. All right. We're bleeping this out, right? Ultimately, I think that there's a lot of things that people don't think about. And it's really easy to sort of like get lost in the sauce when it comes to improving the kitchen, improving the bathroom. Like you said, right? Like making improvements, carpet, paint, whatever, and calling it a day.
Even as I'm going through the home buying process, I'm like asking you, like for a house in Towson, should I knock down this wall? Should I do this, that? You're like, no. Not unless you really want to.
It's just a matter of like what your personal preference is, plus the buyer's personal preference.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you
and what your goals are for the property?
That way, anybody that's listening that owns a home in Towson can sell it off to you.
Yeah. Let me know.
What are we looking for? What are we looking for?
3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, at least townhouse in Towson, preferably an end unit with parking. If it's not an end unit, sure, but it has to have parking.
Good sell.
And Mike wants me to do some like investing in the property, like buy one for cheap, fix it up. But for my first house, I don't think I want to bite off that much. So move-in ready would be cool.
Well, if you know anybody that has one,
if I got to slap on some paint, I'll do it, dude.
Make sure you reach out to Christian at Christian the Deadhead on Instagram.
Certainly.
But I think when you're thinking about making improvements, maybe the mural in the back of the property, or maybe the basement that you stack stone on the one wall. There was one house I went to go see, and I wish I could remember where it was. In the corner of the basement, there was like what looked like a pond, and then there was a waterfall that went up the corner, and at the top of the waterfall, there was like, it was either a painting or like a stuffed mountain lion.
Yeah.
Like at the top of the waterfall, and there was like plants and birds and shit. It was the weirdest basement improvement I've ever seen in my entire life. It definitely did not add value.
When I first joined our team years and years ago, Eric Bills had showed me a house that had a Grateful Dead patio, like landscaping up the lightning bolt.
Yeah.
That probably didn't add value. But if a deadhead walked in, they'd be like, this fucking house.
And this is the one.
Yeah, literally. That is the house.
I think for so many people, there's so many different things that add and detract value. I think the one thing, I'll give a shout out to Maggie Keel. We were talking over the weekend. She's been looking for more historic recreation, right? That's the one thing that always stays the same. The more well-maintained a historic home is, it kind of attracts to everyone.
Oh, yeah.
And adding some of those more historic features, whether it's like a pedestal sink from a 1920s or otherwise, like you're creating opportunity for people to sort of like go back in time, whether it's a personal experience with grandma and grandpa's house or just, historical charm. I think that
like
there
the
are
smell.
some just like the smell of an old
like in a
home.
book.
It's just it's a vibe.
Yeah.
But there are some things that you cannot, quote unquote, recreate, and you can never take away from a property. Whereas the Grateful Dead patio, I'd be like, I don't care.
I feel like you wouldn't even know. Like if someone who was not a Deadhead walked back there,
Flash.
they would just be
yeah.
look at that lightning bolt. That's really cool.
Right?
That's a nice design.
Or like my parents who own the Superman costume. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
But they have a Superman logo in the carpet in the basement. I'm like, all right, we gotta remove that before we sell this house. Like, what are we doing here? But I think that, those are some things that speak to certain people.
Yeah.
And when it talks to, the unique improvements that do add value, we need to focus on the things that speak to everyone.
Yeah.
So the tennis courts, the basketball courts, the expanded driveways, the detached garages, the elevators, the dog washes, and outdoor movie theaters and aquariums, which now I kind of want an aquarium in my house. Great. Thanks, Liv.
Yeah, miss me with that.
It's just an ongoing thing.
Where would you put it?
I don't know. I've never
feel
thought
like
about it before this moment.
Maybe that needs to be your chandelier. Take out that chandelier and the thing, and
Jesus.
just, like a New York hotel. It just goes up, fucking.
And there's like a shark swimming above the living or the foyer. Yeah, great.
And then like when you're walking through your house, it's like the Baltimore Aquarium when you're going on the little escalator up to the next level, and then the next level, it follows you.
Jeez.
Where are you going down?
That's a little too much.
That's
a little
like
intense.
Some real Baltimorons shit
That's
right there.
for sure. Anyway, all right. Well, there's a lot of things that are upcoming. If you guys don't already know, we have our movie night coming up this Friday at 7 p.m. here at our office, 3858 Falls Road in Hamden. We're putting on the new Jumanji. When was that even done? Like 5 years ago?
I want to say...
I've never seen it, but we have a lot of people
3 to
registered.
5?
BYOC, bring your own chair. And then, we'd love to see you guys there. Also, the Seafood Festival is happening this weekend. It's a chili cook-off down in Annapolis at Sandy Point State Park. And then, of course, Restaurant Week starts coming up Saturday, Friday. I think it's like Friday through 2 Fridays from now.
Let's go to Restaurant Week so I can start taking pictures with my camera of all the plates.
You don't have to convince me twice. I'm ready. By the way, Liv, did you and Donnell plan to match? I just noticed that just now.
That's actually...
Did you see that?
No, I did not.
Donnell, come back. Come back, Jack.
That's actually... I should have taken a photo of that. That was great.
Anyway, all right. Well, if you need to reach us on Instagram at michael.frank___ or on our website at frankoliverco.com. And as I mentioned, Christian can be reached at...
You can follow me at Christian the Deadhead on Instagram.
Woo! Talk to you guys real soon.
Later.
What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. For more information on the housing market, Real Estate 101, how you can leverage your position in today's market, and so much more, click on the link below. If you like this video or have a burning real estate question you'd like us to answer, leave us a comment and let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode, and we'll see you again real soon.